I will try to paint you a picture of the nightmare that unfolded. The story begins in the summer of 2015. I'd been placed on bed rest order and was awaiting surgery. Being unable to work, I googled options to make money from the comfort of my own bed. The easiest option was webcam service. I will admit, I should have done more research and protected myself better. I did not have the tools nor the understanding that the internet could be a very dark place. It started off simple enough. I had a desirable look, and before the days of OnlyFans, camming could be lucrative. Payment could be received through the website, or you could add a link to your Amazon wishlist with the option of your private information withheld. I made sure, to the best of my ability, to keep my information about myself protected. I used a fake name. I wore wigs and hair extensions. I used coloured contacts. I made sure none of my surroundings had any personal indicators of my location. I changed my birthday and year on my profile. After a few days, my chat room had anywhere from 100 to 500 viewers with regular private chat customers and subscribers. After a few days of exploring my surroundings and cruising the website, I learned that you could search for webcams in your state. Uncomfortable to think that someone I know could possibly stumble upon my cam. My mother and the family member I lived with at the time were aware of my internet business. After working the site for a month and my surgery date fast approaching, I changed my personal info, availability and added comfort items to my wishlist and placed a repeating banner in my chat room to refer to my Amazon wishlist for wants and needs. A week before my procedure, around 1 AM, I was sitting in bed. The lights on in my bedroom, and being on the second floor, I felt comfortable to keep my blinds and windows open for a nice summer breeze. I lived on a 60-mile-per-hour country road, a few acres between each house and a long driveway. Traffic would fly by, much too fast to get a clear look into my bedroom that directly faced the road. When I saw the car slowing down in front of my house, I thought it was someone looking for a house number on the mailbox. I watched the car creep by. I could see their taillights slowly moving through the tree line at the end of my driveway. And then, when I saw brake lights, something clicked. As the car started to slowly reverse back towards my house, I became more aware of my situation. My entire room, including myself, was fully illuminated and visible from the road. The rest of my house was completely dark. The car idled in the road at the end of my driveway for close to 5 minutes, headlights on, moving forward, then reverse every few minutes after that. I turned off the lights and sat in front of the window and watched for 20 minutes in silence until they left. 2 days before my procedure, my partner and I decided to go out for my last meal. Dinner ran late and I arrived home around 10 PM to change clothes before heading over to my partner's for an overnight. I lived with an older adult female family member. We chatted for a few minutes and I left in my partner's car within the hour. When I returned the following morning at 6 AM, the door was deadbolt locked and I was surprised because we never double locked while I was sick in case of an emergency. After waking up the family member and being let in, she immediately asked where my keys were. Confused because I had my keys in hand and I asked what she meant. She told me around 1 AM she was woken by a loud slam on the glass storm door of our front door. She slept in the downstairs sunroom in the backside of the house. She said she waited a few minutes with her phone in hand to see if I would call to be let in, as she assumed I'd forgot my keys. After a few minutes of silence, she checked and saw no one outside, checked the front door was locked, and then deadbolted it. Things were quiet for the next few days. My procedure was rescheduled due to an unforeseen complication. The next time I logged back into my chat room, I received a quickly repeated message through the public chat in a room with 150 people saying, "Hey, real first and last name, your Amazon wishlist has your address listed publicly." Even with 2 additional chat room moderators with the ability to delete chat, comments, block and ban, and report accounts simultaneously, the damage had already been seen and done. I opened Amazon immediately and deleted the entire account. I froze my cam account. I notified my family member I live with about what happened and told her that those 2 weird instances of creeps in the night could be very real threats. 2 weeks later, my family member went out of state for a week's vacation, and I prepared for my surgery now a few days away. I left the house around 2 PM with plans to return a few hours later. I shut off all the lights and wrangled my toddler child out of the house. When we returned around 8:45 PM, the first thing I noticed while pulling into my driveway was one of the lights was on in the centre downstairs. I remember thinking that's weird because I distinctly turned that light off before I left. I tried to rationalise, toddler fingers are tricky and they could have flicked it back on without me noticing. We walk in, the front door's still locked. We go straight into the downstairs bathroom, laundry area, strip down and toss our clothes into the washer. Go straight upstairs into my room. I throw a t-shirt and undies on and then to my son's room to grab him clean clothes. We go back downstairs and as I'm turning on the kitchen lights, I see it. The back, sliding glass door in the sunroom is open. It's not cracked open. It's about a foot wide gap. The utter sinking feeling of my throat falling out of my ass and the sheer terror makes me nauseous to this day. In a split second, I scooped my child up and went out the front door so quietly and quickly I'm still amazed and ran to my car with my cell phone in hand and child in the other, only to realise I had left my only set of car keys in the house. In an area with little to no cell service, I called 911.
911, what is your emergency?
Told them there was someone in my home and I was alone with the child in my car and my keys was inside. I then called my mother, who was 25 minutes away, and then called my ex, who was 7 minutes away, and he flew over with his friend. My mother arrived and the police arrived 45 minutes after the call was placed. I was terrified, waiting in my car with my child with no protection, my keys inside in the complete darkness surrounding us. It was embarrassing when the police showed up and I was in underwear and a tiny white tee, braless and barefoot. The police searched the house 2 times over. They noticed the back door of the garage was broken. The garage door to the inside of the house was still locked. The sliding glass door handle had been jiggled in such a manner that the lock mechanism slipped out because the latch itself was still in the lock position. When they arrived at the house, the sliding glass door was shut almost all the way with a 3-inch opening. Whoever was in the house remained hidden while I changed. They may have just been hiding. They may have been watching. There is no doubt that they were waiting for me to arrive home. I have a long driveway that they would have seen me pull in, and then heard me messing around with my toddler while getting him out of the car, walking up the walkway, unlocking the front door, and entering. That thought alone haunts me. No electronics were missing, no jewellery or valuables either. They asked me a lot of questions. Before they left, they suggested a home alarm system and added new locks. They also told me to look out for any missing personal items, like photos or clothing. The layout of the property is also strange. We had a small backyard that sat on top of a hill that went down to water access and the surrounding area was wetlands. The front of the house had motion sensor lights, so when they left, they stayed on the back side or far side of the house. They would have had to know the lay of the land or take a serious chance running into swamp or falling down a steep hill into the woods. Also, with acres of land between houses, where was their car, or did they have someone driving or waiting down the road? To the person, or peoples who broke into my house and waited for me to arrive, I hope you fall into the swamp on your way out, and let's not ever meet. This week's shoutouts go out to Catherine Lionheart, Alex W. Horror Stories, and Mackenzie Moonlight. Thank you for the support.